The throne room of the Velshera Dominion smelled of ozone and old starlight. Queen Eva of House Velshera sat upon a throne carved from the bones of a dead moon, her four luminous eyes scanning the line of candidates presented before her. Warriors from 14 species stood at attention. Kreth mercenaries with their obsidian armor, Dern heavyweights whose footsteps cracked the marble, a Savari shadow dancer who barely existed in visible light. And at the very end of the line, a human. He was not large, not by the standards of this hall. The Dern beside him were twice his height. The Kreth mercenaries outweighed him fourfold. He wore no ceremonial armor, no glowing insignia of a mercenary guild. Just worn tactical clothing, dark and practical, and a face that looked like it had been carved out of quiet patience. His name, per the intake manifest, was Lucas. Human. Her chamberlain, Lord Sethin, hissed the word like it tasted sour. Your Radiance, surely you are not considering. I consider what I please, Sethin. Eva's voice was soft. That was the thing people never understood about her. She didn't need to raise it. Human. Step forward. Lucas stepped forward. He did not bow. He did not flinch at her four-eyed gaze the way most species did on first encounter. He simply looked at her with gray eyes that seemed to be doing math behind them. Your record is unusual, Eva said, studying the data slate Sethin had reluctantly compiled. No guild affiliation. No certifications from the Interstellar Mercenary Council. Your species has been spacefaring for less than 200 years. She set the slate down. And yet 6 separate intelligence agencies have flagged your arrival in this system. What? I was hoping you wouldn't ask that, Lucas said. The hall went very still. No one spoke to Queen Eva that way. Lord Sethin's mandibles clicked in outrage. One of the Kreth mercenaries actually reached for a weapon. Lucas didn't look at any of them. He kept his eyes on the queen. Eva tilted her head, her crown of living silver shifting with the motion. Honest, she noted. Continue. Those agencies flagged me because I've crossed paths with their operators before. I'm not a mercenary. I'm not looking for guild certification. He paused. I'm looking for work that matters. Word reached me that you're hiring personal guard for the Conclave Summit. Word also reached me that 3 separate factions want you dead before it concludes. That information is classified. Yes, Lucas agreed. It is. Another silence. Eva studied him for a long moment. Then, to the absolute horror of Lord Sethin and the assembled candidates, she said, the position is yours. Everyone else is dismissed. The first week, her existing guard hated him. This was expected. Captain Rowe, a decorated Savari veteran with 40 years of royal protection experience, made no effort to hide her contempt. Humans were a young species. Impulsive, soft-boned. Their reaction time was laughable by Savari standards, their strength negligible, their senses mediocre at best. She assigned Lucas to the outer perimeter, the posting where nothing ever happened. He accepted without complaint. On the third night, he rerouted the entire perimeter patrol pattern, quietly, without asking anyone, because he'd identified a blind spot in the sensor grid that a careful person could exploit. He left a written analysis on Rowe's desk. It was thorough, precise, and completely correct. She didn't thank him, but she didn't move him back to the outer perimeter either. On the 5th day, Eva summoned him to her private study. You've been watching me, she said. It wasn't an accusation exactly. It's my job, Your Radiance. My other guards watch the doors, the corridors, the approaches. She set down her reading. You watch me. My habits. My schedule variations. The way I favor my left side when I'm tired. You were injured, Lucas said. Old wound, left thoracic region. You compensate when you're fatigued. It changes your movement profile in a crowd. Someone patient could use that. Eva regarded him for a long moment. You think like an assassin. I think like someone who was trained by people who thought like assassins, Lucas said. There's a difference. Barely. The Conclave Summit began on the 9th day. Delegates from 32 species filled the grand atrium of Velshera Station. It was the most politically significant gathering in a decade. Trade routes, territorial claims, the future of 3 contested star systems all balanced on the negotiations happening inside those walls. And hidden among the arriving delegations, killers. They were good. Eva's intelligence service hadn't spotted them. Station security hadn't flagged them. They had legitimate credentials, legitimate faces, legitimate reasons to be exactly where they were. Lucas spotted the first one in the reception hall. He didn't move immediately. He watched. A delegate from the Hervani Trade Consortium, female, medium height, moving through the crowd with a specific kind of ease that came not from confidence, but from training. The way she cataloged exits. The micro-pause when she clocked the guard positions. The way her eyes swept Queen Eva and then moved on a beat too fast. The way you looked away from a thing you'd already memorized. He come Captain Rowe. Green dress, Hervani delegation, Northeast Quadrant. Don't approach. She's not alone. How do you know? She just made the same guard sweep you did when you entered. She's professional. Find her partners first. Rowe didn't question it this time. She'd learned, in 9 days, that Lucas's instincts had a quality to them she didn't fully understand but had stopped dismissing. They found the partners. 2 more, dressed as catering staff and a maintenance contractor. A 3-person insertion team, clean, minimal footprint, designed to collapse inward on a single target at a prearranged moment. Eva. The signal came in the middle of the 3rd session, when the lighting dimmed for a ceremonial address. It was well chosen, delegates packed close, guards managing crowd flow, attention pulled forward to the speaker's dais. The woman in the green dress moved. Lucas was already between her and the queen. What happened next lasted approximately 4 seconds, which is a long time in a very small space. The assassin was fast, genuinely fast, Savari-grade enhanced reflexes, the kind that made most biological species irrelevant in close quarters. She had a blade in her hand before anyone else had registered she'd moved. Lucas broke her wrist. He did it with the particular economy of someone who had done this before, not the brutal efficiency of strength, but the precise application of leverage at exactly the right angle, at exactly the right moment, before the strike could fully commit. She gasped. The blade clattered. He had her controlled and pinned in the next half second, and his other hand was already tracking the second attacker, closing from his left. The maintenance contractor, also enhanced, also fast, pulled up short when he saw Lucas's face. He stopped. Completely stopped. In the middle of a kill approach, with a clear angle, he stopped. No, the contractor said. It came out barely above a whisper. No, they didn't say it was him. The 3rd attacker, the one dressed as catering staff, had reached the same conclusion. He was already backing toward an exit. Captain Rowe's team had them contained within seconds, but the moment hung in the air, the strange, suspended moment of professional killers deciding that this particular job had just become unprofitable. Later, in the debrief, Rowe looked at Lucas across the table with an expression she'd never worn in his direction before. They recognized you, she said. Apparently. Professional assassins. 3 of them. Enhanced. They stopped. She paused. Who are you? Lucas considered the question. Someone who used to be on the other side of this table, he said finally. And who decided, eventually, that this side made more sense. Queen Eva received him privately that evening. The summit had continued. The negotiations would hold. 3-star systems would remain in stable hands because no one had died in that atrium. She looked at him for a long time before she spoke. I recruited you because you were honest when honesty was dangerous, she said. I kept you because you were right when being right was inconvenient. She paused. I find I am curious about the life that made you what you are. It's a long story, Lucas said. I have a long reign ahead of me. Eva's 4 eyes carried something that might, in a human face, have been the beginning of respect. And apparently, a guard worth keeping. Lucas said nothing. He moved to his post by the door, facing outward, watching the corridor with those gray eyes that never quite stopped calculating. Outside, the stars of 32 civilizations burned in the dark. And for the first time in a very long time, all of them were safe.